Thank you so much for joining us on our Innovation Launchpad. Today, we're going to focus on our Canvas Studio. For those that are joining us for the first time, thank you so much. Our Launchpad is a collaboration with Innovation Launchpad is a web series that comes along with a collaboration of academic innovation. Our whole purpose of the webinar is to help inspire future innovative course development. Our attendees today will learn about tool functionality, potential applications, and benefits that will help you in a design opportunity. Our talented presenters today, we have Dr. Alex Reister from the College of Arts and Science. We have Megan Massey, who is our academic technologist. John Sexton is joining us from Multimedia Services. Helena Hebel is from RCTLE and is also one of our instructors. And Cody Sire is from our Academic Innovation Research. Today's session, our objective is to review our Canvas Studio features, explore student and instructor benefits, showcase current course uses. That's why we have two of our panelists that are going to demonstrate how they use it in their courses, demonstrate how Canvas Studio can be used by all instructors for teaching and learning. Before we do that, we tend to say, okay, why don't you give me the little gist? Here is the 2 minutes, a 2-minute basic summary from the Canvas Studio, from instructor, the company that actually has created it. We're going to have to wait for it to load because we have to go to their website. All right, here we go.
Learning wasn't meant to be a one-way street. For learning to stick, students need to do and make, not just watch and listen. They need interaction, collaboration, feedback. Canvas Studio transforms video learning by turning content into conversation. Here's how it works. Educators can create a variety of media experiences for their courses, from self-recorded video to interactive discussions around other content. Students can create videos too, as assignment submissions, presentations, peer feedback, or ways to practice. Everyone gets their own personal media library. Want to bring YouTube content into the mix? No problem. And accessibility is built right in. Focus students' attention with timestamped comments, then turn those comments into conversations. Embed quiz questions to gauge understanding of key concepts at key moments. Then send the scores straight to the gradebook. Want a deeper look at engagement? Studio offers second-by-second, student-by-student analytics. See what's sinking in and what's falling flat. Personalize, refine, repeat. And of course, Canvas Studio integrates seamlessly with the Canvas LMS. That means Studio can deliver videos exactly how students and teachers want to see them through Canvas mobile apps. It means your institution gets full control of its video assets and a simple storage and bandwidth solution. And your students get richer Canvas courses, no extra logins, and a more fluid learning experience, whether they're online, in person, or somewhere in between. Ready to make video learning more powerful? Learn more about Canvas Studio at Instructure.com.
Instructor did a great job of doing a 2-minute summary for us. What we're going to do right now is we're going to use these. How are we going to use it in the course? I apologize. It's just Helena's going to help us because Helena not just is from RCTLE, but she's also one of our instructors. Selena, can you please give us a little bit more information about these features?
Great, thank you so much. My name is Helena Hebel. I'm in the Rockwell Center for Teaching and Learning Excellence, aligned with the College of Business. That's my day job. But I also have been an instructor with Embry-Riddle since 2016. So I've taught face-to-face, I've taught online, and I've used Canvas Studio in my own practice a lot. And there was, a little bit of a learning curve there. I kind of had to teach myself things. But now that, one of my major job roles is faculty development. I played around with Canvas Studio so much, and I feel like one of the best ways to use it is to increase your instructor presence in the course. So today we're going to talk about 3 areas: announcements, discussions, and feedback. So feedback is maybe one of the more time-consuming ways to use Canvas Studio. And if you're interested in using that way, I'm more than happy to talk to you about it. My contact information will be at the end of the presentation. But I'd like first to talk about announcements and discussions. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Just let me know if you can see it. Good, thank you. So I'm in my sandbox, and if you have done ITGR with us, if you're one of those newer instructors before we had faculty, then you definitely have a sandbox. If you don't have a sandbox, we can set one up for you. The reason why I like to use my sandbox is because it's just a play area. I can create videos here, I can post things here, and not have to worry that I'm going to interrupt a live course or share something that I don't want students to see. So I'm in my sandbox just for the purposes of showing you some things today. But if you wanted to have a Teams meeting with me, we could work in your live course as well. So that's just an option. So the first thing you need to know is where to find Studio. It's in your dashboard, and it's got this cool little icon. I call it the Studio Octopus. And here we are in my library. So that's what it's called when you're working in your own library. You've got your own videos here. And as you can see, I've got a pretty large library. I've been using this for a very long time. That's one of the other great things about this tool, is that your videos will always be here. So you can use these again and again each semester. If you make a really great instructional tool and you want to use it every single semester, you can just go and grab it from your library whenever you'd like to. But I'd like to show you now how I use it in the announcements tool. So once again, if you've done ITGR, you know that you're required to make a welcome video, a welcome announcement. And you can see here in my pretend ENGL 123 course, I've made a welcome announcement, and it's very short. This is not something that should be, even more than 5 minutes long. It's simply introducing students to the class. It's showing them where to start. I'm literally showing them the Start Here button, and just welcoming them to the classroom. This is something I like to do fresh every semester, just because, I learn things as I go along. But if you wanted to make one and just keep using it, you're teaching the same course every semester, feel free to do that. So here's a quick little tutorial. Let's start in our studio. And the first thing you need to do is click record. You have 2 choices: screen capture or webcam. I always click screen, because once I do that, I'm still allowed to make my choice once I actually get into the recording tool. It's just going to take a second here to load for us. It's a little bit slow because we're doing Canvas Studio within Zoom. Actually, don't need to do that. I don't know why it keeps asking me that. Okay, so once we start recording, it's going to pop up here any second. Any second. Okay, maybe not. It's there, but we can't see it. Okay, hold on. None of this is rehearsed, people. None of this. I'm kidding. It is rehearsed. We did this already, and it worked fine. Okay, let me get started that. Stop sharing. We're going to try again. I think it's just because we are in Zoom. Again. It is. It's not showing it to us. Okay, scratch that. I'm going to show you something else. So once we're here in our announcement, if we want to make a new announcement, and you've already got your library set up, you already have your video recorded, it's so simple to embed that. So here's my announcement. I've got my title. I have my text, whatever I'd like to say to my students. And now I want to embed my amazing welcome announcement video. I choose the studio tool. It'll take me to my library. And it will be, if I just made the video, it'll be the most recent one that I just created. If not, I can search for it. I always turn off the media tabs just because I think it makes for a cleaner look. And now it's embedded. All I have to do is click publish. And there's my video. There's my welcome announcement. Now, once again, I'm in my sandbox, so I can, delete this if I don't like it. I can try it again. I can edit it. And then the final thing I'm going to talk about is how to use it in discussions. This is just as easy. It's pretty much the same embed process as in your announcement. I always like to create a video for the introduction discussion. We all have this introduction discussion, most of us in our courses. And when we're thinking about, humanizing the online learning environment, we want to really personalize this access for students. We want them to be able to feel like they know their instructor, that we're a human, we're not an algorithm that's grading their papers, right? So I always create introduction video. I answer the prompt along with them, and then I give them a short tutorial on best practices for discussion posts. This is a freshman course that I'm teaching, and I wouldn't want to assume that they know anything about discussion posts. And the process for that is just as simple. So you reply just like you would, you type your text, and then you use that same embed tool. Once again, it's going to link you to your library. You choose, embed, and post. And it's just that simple. I really think that you're going to enjoy using this tool. Students are going to see this as a model, and they're going to start using it too. And you're just going to really increase engagement in your course. And I think you'll find a lot of value from it. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jorge.
Thank you, Selena, for sharing different examples of how you use it in your course. I love how you said that interaction, that engagement, the humanizing. Can you give us a little bit of an experience that you've had that a student has had that moment of where you've actually talked about humanizing and appreciating what you do in your course?
Yeah, I get great feedback all the time from my videos. Students, not every single student is going to sit there and watch your video, and that's fine. I have the captions on for all of them. They can read them if they'd like to. But for the students who are really looking for that human connection, they find the video so valuable. It helps them to feel more connected to me, to the course, to Embry-Riddle. And, it's not YouTube Academy. I'm really here in my course for them.
Thank you for sharing that. Absolutely. Any single time we can actually make it more personable, you absolutely nailed it. Thank you so much, Elena. What we're going to do now is look at another example how it's being used in the course. And for that, we have Alex Reister. Can you please share with us your course of humanities, please?
Absolutely. Thank you, Jorge, and thank you all for being here with us today. I'm really excited to share an example of how students can use Canvas Studio in your courses. And Humanities 210 World Culture was a course that I co-developed with a colleague and historian, Dr. John Paul Hill. And so we sort of blended our disciplinary areas. And so you'll see that focus on communication with our use of Canvas Studio in this particular course. And so I want to start by sharing the course catalog description of Humanities 210, just to share how we use this Canvas Studio tool in our course, but also to encourage you, regardless of the discipline, regardless of the course that you teach, that there are reasons and ways for you to integrate this tool into your course as well. And so our World Culture course specified in our learning outcomes that students needed to demonstrate written and oral through presentations specific skills in our course. And you may not have that level of specificity, but I would say that there are 3 key reasons that you can leverage Canvas Studio in your courses. And the first, I'm going to say it, is all about communication. I think that when students are able to use Canvas Studio and gain that communication experience, not only from the communication and presentation side, but also for their practice with multimedia tools and technologies, this can really be helpful for students, again, regardless of the discipline, regardless of the course. And Helena mentioned how many of us use that introductory video example on our discussions. And this is an example from Humanities 210 where we do that very thing. And the goal here is to make sure from the very first module of the World Culture course, students are really getting experience with the tool, again, thinking about wanting to leverage them building those multimedia and technological skills with Canvas Studio. So then hopefully they can turn to some communication skills that they want to grow and improve, like their presentation delivery, right? Once they're comfortable with the tool, they can focus on those other presentation and communication skills. The second reason to really leverage Canvas Studio in your course is simply because an online course relies heavily on written communication. And we know writing matters, right? That's the focus of our QEP. But it can be really helpful for students to gain practice and confidence with other communication mediums, right? And so when we incorporate a balance between writing and presenting, students are able to gain confidence with both mediums, and they're also able to increase their flexibility and their adaptability between those mediums. And so in our World Culture course, again, you can see some different examples of using Canvas Studio in a video discussion and in a reflection video assignment. And from each of these modules, we're asking students to sort of build on their learning from the module prior. And so for example, in Module 3, after they practice with simply using their video, we're asking them to incorporate maybe some slides, maybe some images. And again, that's increasing those communication and presentation skills. The third reason to think about leveraging Canvas Studio, and this is important for our World Culture course, of course, but I think it's really important for other classes as well, is to think about facilitating that really dynamic exploration of cultural nuances. And so think about things like visual communication and nonverbal communication. Specifically for our course, they have a major project at the end of the term where students are presenting on a country's culture, and each student selects a different country. And this major project is due at the end of the course, so hopefully they've gained, again, confidence with their communication skills with the Canvas Studio tool. But this is allowing them to share some of those cultural artifacts, to share the language of their country in a way that can really make that country's culture come alive for the listener. And a final example that we'll share here that could be really helpful for thinking about a redevelopment in your own course is the e-portfolio project, where students can select their own examples of how they've felt they have increased their cultural literacy skills and showcase that in their digital portfolio. And this can be a great opportunity for students to think about all of these things we've just talked about, how they can showcase those skills to a potential employer, to their current employer, if they're considering promotional opportunities. And so just in summary, when we're thinking about Humanities 210 World Culture, there are some assignments maybe that are specific to this course, but certainly Canvas Studio can be implemented in your classes. And I think it's really valuable to equip your students with versatile media literacy and multimedia production skills to really enhance their adaptability in communication and to create that overall dynamic learning environment for our students. Thank you. Back to you, Jorge.
Thank you so much, Alex, for sharing the two great examples of different forms of integrating Canvas Studio that they are going to showcase and demonstrate what they've learned. Now, looking at those examples, I have a did you ever have one of those students just reach out to you and say, I had an aha moment because you asked me to use Canvas Studio? Do you mind sharing an opportunity that when a student has shared that with you?
Absolutely. I think we definitely see this in our course since it is a 200 level course, right? Students may be using this tool for the very first time, practicing those communication skills, using the technology, as well as sort of thinking about how they can present online for the first time. But I can guarantee students will have that aha moment in your course as well, because leveraging Canvas Studio and really making your course material come alive and having students engage with your course material using visual communication and verbal communication, I think is going to be really beneficial for your students, just like it is for Humanities 210 students.
Jorge, I think you're having some audio difficulties.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So thank you so much, Alex, for sharing two examples of that are courses that have already been developed and how we can integrate Canvas Studio in those courses that are already being used. Thank you so much. We always appreciate when we are using courses, examples of courses that already our students are experiencing. Speaking of our students, Cody is going to help us bring in the aspect of our student experience. Cody?
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Jorge. My name is Cody Sire, and I'm the Senior UX Research Analyst, with the Academic Innovation Research Unit, and it's a pleasure to be here today. I think what I'm most passionate about my job is really when we talk about UX or user experience, it's really talking about what are the students saying. And more often than not, the user on our end is the student, but it is also faculty and staff members as well. And what's really exciting about Studio is we kind of get to encompass both worlds of the users in that regard. So what are our students saying? When we talk about videos, we talk about interactions. Here on the screen, I'm not going to read them all to you, but here's some of the feedback that's been taken from different courses, not 210 specifically with Dr. Reister, but just feedback that shows what students are saying. And when we look at their voice, that top one is most impactful to me, where we say resources were especially valuable as a visual learner. The videos and the courses were effective at getting the message across and providing feedback. And so just that message alone, when we look at it, we really can see the opportunity to capitalize on the learner experience, that connection to the material, and just really the engagement in the classroom, which above all with the online learners, while we are in a technology-driven world and an independent world, we do also have those students who would like to see a face behind the screen and feel that connection. And whether it's a military member overseas, whether it's somebody just removed from the campus, or maybe it's just a working parent who is going back to school and, online is really the only option to pursue their education. So regardless of circumstance, I think it's really important that we don't underestimate the value that video connection can bring, whether it's engagement, whether it's from an academic teaching point of view, or just that connection point for feedback as well. So some great feedback here. If you're interested in more data, I'm happy to share that. But as we look in further how to utilize the opportunity with Canvas Studio specifically, bear with me, technical difficulty here. There's really a lot of benefits to you as the instructor as well as to the students. And the first one I want to talk about is personalized learning. And so with this, my favorite part about the personalized learning is the videos are really an opportunity to make Embry-Riddle learning, while it is template learning based, to make it less cookie cutter and really be able to make that connection to industry and provide real world examples. And so you as the faculty member, you can take your expertise, you can take your connections, you can talk about real world situations that are going on. And with that, kind of fill knowledge gaps based on the material that's already in the course. Maybe there's supplemental readings or videos already going on, but you can create your own mini lesson just by real world events that have happened. So maybe you're teaching aviation history and there was a milestone that relates, and you can talk about that and integrate that video. Maybe there's been an accident, an aviation, incident or accident that you can kind of talk about. And regardless if it's business, project management, communication, there's always an opportunity to look at something that's happening in the world and apply that to the curriculum. And going into personalized learning, the next step of that is the micro learning. And the great part about micro learning is it's really a fantastic opportunity to meet the students where they're at and kind of teach them where they need to go. And so by doing that, you can either break up topics and you can focus on specific areas, but you can also create a library portfolio. So we saw Helena when she showed her studio, kind of the videos that she has made before and how she's able to use those in the future. And so by making these little videos and these micro experiences, it's a great way to enhance the learner experience within those topics. Best practice, while there's no time limit on studio, you can talk and tell a story. Best practice for micro learning specifically is 3 to 5 minutes. And so when we highlight those specific areas, that is meant to increase the interaction, and it's also meant to kind of break up different aspects of learning. So one way to do this is to do group feedback. Maybe you're teaching a class and the feedback as you're grading papers, you're noticing common trends or missed opportunities. You can address that kind of a group at large, in addition to the individual feedback you provide on the rubric. Or maybe you have an opportunity to do a hands-on learning experience. If there's a local airport or there's an air show going on, or there's some sort of demonstration that you're able to do virtually, those are just opportunities to really engage that micro learning and really make that connection to the student. And this again is a way for the students, if they just need to look at a small subject that they're struggling on, maybe you're teaching math and there's some formulas that you can sequence out, but it also gives an opportunity for the students who need to revisit that for help, or the students who just want to learn more. So if you're trying to give that extra student, help the students go the extra mile, get that extra information, it's also a great way to plug in microlearning. Moving on, this all relates to engaging experience. And so really the goal of online learning and the goal of the videos is to increase that engagement and increase that human touch point. So really we do that by being able to show our personalities, being relatable, being vulnerable, sharing our expertise. One of my favorite examples is during COVID, in the world of everyone learning to adapt to work from home, and you have a news broadcaster whose little one, breaks in during live TV. How relatable is that as a parent to, somebody where you're like, oh, it's not just me struggling. I'm sitting here talking with my hands. And so while I could stop the video, start over, this is just who I am, so we get to see a touch of personality, which I think is so important in the age of technology, to just really separate that feeling that, oh, I'm just another name on the list. I'm just another name in the gradebook. Really, we want to just show, look, I see you. I see where you're at. There's a lot of ways to look at engagement with the videos, whether you're comfortable being on screen, whether you want to do a voiceover, you can create Powtoons, you can screen share. There's so many different opportunities to learn and grow and just really kind of mix up the average learning experience for the student. And then last, I kind of want to talk about role-based learning. And my favorite part about this is it's really that 360 view on learning and what the experience students have. It's a great way to just look at that 30,000-foot view perspective from learning at large. And fundamentally, what this means is students can be the teachers and teachers can be the students. So I think for you as an instructor or faculty member, as you start to use Studio and practice it in your classroom, and maybe there's assignments where you can start challenging your students to use this tool as well and create videos, you're going to learn from them on the way they're producing videos, just like they're going to learn from you. And you're also modeling the expectation. So if part of that engagement criteria in the course is interaction and is connecting, you're kind of showing and leading the way. And if you make a mistake, don't be afraid to just roll on and just keep going and let students know that that happens too. When we look at role-based learning as well, this is a great way to teach students a tangible skill set that they can apply not only in the classroom, but also in the workplace, help them with their public speaking, help them with technology, help them kind of level up their professional skills, and then really just have that tangible experience as they move along through their academic journey as well. So Jorge, that's all I have. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Cody. I love how you tied in Helena's examples of personalizing, making it humanizing the experience for our students with giving them feedback, announcements, discussions, and how Alex brought it in. It's already part of the development in the course of enhancing communication skills. I love your examples here of different benefits. In the age of TikTok and YouTube, do you mind expanding a little bit more on those micro learning skills?
Yeah, great question. I really think I think it's really important to not underestimate the opportunity that exists with microlearning and really that connection to the student. So not only seeing your personality, but really breaking up those subjects that sometimes are hard to grasp. And then again, looking at the one-on-one level for the student who's just really struggling and needing that extra support, and then the student who's really exceeding. And so if you're looking at math, maybe there's a complex formula and there's several different parts. It's an opportunity to just really break that up. Project management, accounting, aviation, engineering, there's a bunch of different subjects where you can really apply that and just really make that true little quick video so people have a reference point to go back to. And that fundamentally is what it's all about. If there's just that one part that students are looking for, it's a great way to just have that resource to go back to and save for the future.
Thank you so much, Cody, for expanding on that. That's awesome. That was great. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get into some next level features. These next level features will be presented by John. John, take it away, please.
Hello, everybody. My name is John Sexton. I'm the director of the Multimedia Services team in the Division of Academic Innovation. There's 2 next level features that I'd like to share with you all today. The first being Video Insights. This is a really great tool inside of Canvas Studio that'll give you an idea of whether or not your students are actually viewing the video content that you're putting out there. I remember interacting with a faculty member recently, and they came to me and they specifically asked, is there a way that I can see that a particular student watched a video in my course where I provided them instructions and I showed them how to do it? And of course, the student was emailing him and didn't actually watch the video. So he directed that student to go watch the video. So when you're in the Canvas Studio UI and you're viewing a video, you got a few tabs underneath there. And one of them is called Insights. And this page, it'll show you the total number of views that the video has seen inside of your course. It'll show you the amount of time that the video was spent being played inside of your course. And then it'll show you the unique viewers, and that's each individual student that has watched the video. And these charts that you see on this little screenshot here, these are interactive charts. So you can hover your mouse over them and they'll give you a little bit of additional information about how many students were where. And in addition to those charts, you can actually get a breakdown that shows at the individual student level what their specific engagement with the video was. So you'll see in the screenshots that I've got here, it'll break it down by student. It'll show you their name and their avatar if they've uploaded an image. So it'll show you each individual viewer. It'll show you their completion rate. That's the percentage of the video that was playing on the student's computer screen. So if they skip part of the video, there's also a completion chart that'll show you which parts of the video that the students skipped. So you can access the completion chart by clicking that little chart icon to the right of the completion rate. The second next level feature that I'm going to share with you today is actually video captions. And this is something that my team spends a lot of time doing. We do this for every video that goes inside of every single one of our course templates. But when you're teaching, it's going to be important for you to make sure that you create captions for any videos that you create, just in case you have students who maybe have any kind of visual impairment, audible impairment. Maybe they have a slow internet connection and they're unable to play videos, or maybe English isn't their first language. So giving them the ability to look at the captions and or a transcript, it'll give them the ability to watch that video at their own pace. There's additional tools inside of the video that allows them to speed up or slow down the video to make it easier for them. One of the other tabs that you have when you're looking at a video in Canvas Studio is the Captions tab. And when you go to here, you'll get this UI that you see in the screenshot that I've shared here. And you'll see that Canvas Studio can automatically generate captions, and it just takes a few minutes to do. And using this UI, you're not only able to review, but you can edit and publish the captions for all of your videos. The video is always visible when you're editing. So when you press play over on the left-hand side, it's going to highlight as it'll highlight the spoken word as it's going through the video. And then when you click on a particular section to edit the text, if the machine captions aren't 100% accurate, the video will automatically pause. And then when you're done, you can play the video again and it'll keep highlighting as you go. So the students have the ability to view the closed captions on the video, and it also gives them a menu button where they can download a transcript file. Those are the two items that I had to share with you today. So if there's no questions, I'm going to hand it over to Jorge again.
I do have a question. Thank you so much for sharing those two next level features. What are the things about accessibility with closed captioning? Is it automatic, or are we supposed to wave a magical wand to enable it? Can you expand on that process, please, John?
Yeah, that's actually very important. So you do have to request the captions in order for them to appear on the video. Well, you not only have to request them, but you also have to publish them. So that is a very important step. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Is such a very important step. So I'm glad we got that in. Moving on. Megan, can you please share a few about the resources, please, Megan?
Absolutely. So I'm going to share some resources with you all. So for anyone that would like to explore Canvas Studio further, we have provided links to the Canvas Studio Guide and Canvas support. And both of those links will be provided in the chat, and so they'll be there for your reference. And then, as always, Academic Innovation is here to support you all. So for best teaching practices and ongoing professional development, our CTLE team is ready to assist you through all phases of your teaching term. And then for all things IT, technical support is quick to respond to your tickets. And then we also have the e-learning support team, and they will help when navigating academic tools within your course. So those are some helpful resources if you need to reach out to anyone. Oh, and I'm trying to go to the next screen. Oh, there we go. All right, and then we also have CodeDevCon. Academic Innovation is offering opt-in course developer consultation appointments. This is for course developers planning developments, redevelopments, enhancement updates. These are opt-in appointments. They provide support for teaching strategies and academic technologies. And in these meetings, you can expect to meet with members of our CTLE and academic technology. And you'll also be able to create a plan to implement new ideas before course design kickoff or any updates that need to go through. So these are just some of the ways, and also those will be in the chat for your reference if you need to reach out. So those are just some of the few ways we like to support you, but now it's your turn. So any questions, comments, things you would like to share about Canvas Studio from your perspective, this is your time. So Selena, do we have any questions in the chat?
Hey all, we've had just a few questions and some great ideas too. We had a question early in the session about what are the limits to the Canvas Studio videos that you can record and produce? And John, if you don't mind, you did help that audience member answer that question. Can you expand a little bit upon that for us? You had a great answer, and then also an alternative reason for maybe why that user might be limited.
Yeah, so to my knowledge, in Canvas Studio, there is no limit to the amount of videos that you can upload. My team has a collection that's up near 8,000 videos that we've uploaded that has all the videos and all of our course templates. And that's only shared between like 11 or 12 people. So no limitations to my knowledge. My suspicion is that maybe you're not in Roth, maybe you're not in the Canvas Studio tool, but you're in the course files tool. I do know that there is a limitation if you try to upload files to a course. There's like a 2 GB limit there. So I've already reached out to our e-learning support team, though. Someone will be in touch with you.
That's awesome, John. Thank you. We appreciate your help in that. And actually, while I have you, if you don't mind, would you be able to speak to the advantage that we have in having a innate tool within Canvas that our instructors and our students can access? How is that a huge benefit for our learning community to be able to not just access that, but already have it integrated within our learning management system?
Yeah, I've had a lot of experience using video platforms, and I would say that a lot of them are very technical. Canvas Studio is probably one of the easiest tools that are built with faculty and students in mind first, not necessarily like the administrator. So being able to add your own videos, whether it's something that you record or even from YouTube, that's a feature. And then being able to create collections and share them with your peers so that they can be shared between multiple courses. And it all works with our course copy process. I would say those are some of the great reasons to have access to this tool and it being integrated directly with Canvas. Yeah.
Thanks, John. Didn't mean to put you on the spot, but we appreciate it. So Janice has a question, and I love it because it's about CoDevCon, or the Course Developer Consultation Meeting. And Helena, you answered that. Do you mind coming on and expanding a little bit about why you say that in the process of the course development process, choosing to schedule your course development consultation with members of RCTLE and academic technology, why is it advantageous to schedule that as soon as possible?
Well, the purpose of CoDevCon is really pre-development. So if you can, as soon as you know you're going to develop a course, go ahead and fill out that form and meet with someone from our team. So you can even, it's like pre-writing. You really want to get in there as soon as possible. Maybe Caitlin is here and could talk more about that. Caitlin.
Hello.
Hi.
I feel very put on the spot, Helena. I appreciate this. Yes, you should definitely schedule a course developer consultation. This is a joint effort between RCTLE and academic technology. And CoDevCon really just puts you, like Helena said, in that pre-writing mindset. So if you're going through a redevelopment or you're developing a new course and you would like some input on engaging teaching assignments, or different technologies that you might want to use within your course before you kind of start the process with IDD, you can opt into a meeting where you speak with an instructional consultant who's an expert in teaching and learning and pedagogy, and you can talk with somebody from academic tech who can consult with you on a technology maybe you're already familiar with, or maybe something you don't even know about yet, and then come up with a solid plan for how to move forward once you start your meetings with IDD.
Thank you, Caitlin.
Yeah, thank you. In the spirit of putting people on the spot, I see Daryl has a question in the chat. And Daryl, you're always coming up with such innovative ideas. If you're able to, would you mind coming on and sharing your question with everyone? Because I think you have a really great idea, and others might be curious about how they too can download those video artifacts that students are basically submitting to you, and then maybe you want the opportunity to have that for the future courses that you're in.
Do you have my audio?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, so I use Canvas Studio a lot, particularly in my Brazil classes. And quite often the students will create some great content that I want to use in future courses as exemplars. So typically I've had to ask them because there's no button to directly download those videos. So my question was, is there a way to, on the back end or something, create that ability? John answered that we can get edit access from them, which I am familiar with. So that's one answer. Thank you.
Awesome. Helena, do you mind expanding upon what are the benefits of having student work exemplars that are in general? I mean, obviously not just created in Canvas Studio.
Well, I think just like instructors, I think students are a little bit resistant to having to present, being on camera, and also using a new tool that they're not familiar with. But John Sexton was talking about how Canvas Studio is really one of those tools that Canvas and Instructure have done an amazing job at creating. It's intuitive, it's easy to use. Students and instructors alike, once they just get in there, it has so many prompts built in. Even creating captions it sounds like this major chore, but it's really just you proofreading the captions that are created by Canvas and publishing them. So it's a really easy process. So when I post a video in my introduction discussion post, I'm using that as an example. I'm setting the tone for my course. Hey, look at this great video that I made. It's so easy. You give it a try too. And I always see it. It's like a, what do you call it? It's like the snowball effect. One student will do it and then another student will see that, that student did, and then they'll all start to, jump on the bandwagon. So I think it really has a cumulative effect in your course. The more you use it, the more they're going to use it. And I really do believe that it helps, create a community in your course that otherwise wouldn't be there. We all know, I know, working as an online instructor for so long, how isolating it can be to, especially if you're an adjunct, and it's isolating for students as well. So anything that we can do to make them feel like we really do belong to this community. And, it's also networking, the more they see your face, the more, you see their face when they later on ask you for, a reference letter or something, you'll be like, oh yeah, I remember that great video you made. So there's really no downside to it.
That's awesome. Thank you, Helena. And as we're getting to the end of our Q&A and sharing portion, I wasn't sure if anyone else had anything to add. I know there's been some suggestions added in the chat. So if there is anyone who want to share something, please absolutely unmute, talk, or let us indicate that you do want to speak in the chat, and we'd be happy to have that conversation. I love hearing that people are finding this informative and inspiring. I have seen some ideas that people are thinking of implementing in their future courses. So we're so pleased to be able to offer that to you. Since it looks like we're in the thank you portions, I'm going to go ahead and take us to the last slide to wrap this up. There we are. So it is goodbye for 2023, but we'll see you again in 2024, where we're going to offer our recurring Launchpad session, where we feature Canvas features and what's going to be new in 2024. We hope that you'll join us on February 7th at 2 p.m. We're so pleased that you not only joined us, but participated in this conversation and shared thoughts. Thank you to all of our presenters and to all of you for showing up. We will see you on February 7th. Have a wonderful afternoon.